Welcome back to today's Real Madrid Daily News. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't and like the video. In the headline, Real Madrid worst signing of all time, Jovic takes his place alongside Woodgate, Kaka and more. And now the news in brief. With the Blancos poised to sell €66 million Serbian forward to Florentino, go look back at other players who felt dismally at Santiago Bernabeu. Real Madrid have never been afraid to splash the cash, and in the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and Karim Benzema, they have signed some of the greatest players in history. However, there are many more who cost Madrid mega money but never even came close to living up to the hype. Go take a look at some of the worst signings Los Blancos have ever made. Number 1. Robert Prosnecki from Red Star, €15 million in 1991. Big things had been expected of one of the finest talented ever to come out of the Balkans, a gifted midfielder who had just helped the Red Star Woodgate win the European Cup. Highlight of his 3 years Madrid career was a goal against Barcelona in the Clásico, and even that was well and truly overshadowed by the fact that he departed for Catalonia in 1995. That he also flopped there was of little consolation to the frustrated fans. Number 2. Elvia Belgic from Fenerbahce, €26 million in 1999. Jan Toshak had been impressed by the Bosnian during his time working in Turkey and persuaded Real Madrid to pay a shockingly large fee for the forward. Belgic's hope of making an impact in Spain were hardly helped by a knee injury shortly after his arrival, and even when he was fit, he did not look like he belonged at the highest level, and he was loaned back to Fenerbahce after just 1 season and 1 goal in the La Liga. He later mused, "It doesn't help me to see media listing me among Real Madrid's biggest flops. I don't see myself that way. The club's fan will disagree." Number 3. Nicolas Anelka from Arsenal, €34.5 million in 1999. Madrid took a massive gamble when they signed a talented but temperamental French striker who had already earned himself the nickname Le Souk in the English press. It did not pay off. Anelka lasted just 1 season in Spain, but it was an eventful campaign. His first goal came in the Clásico, while he netted twice in the Champions League semi-final against Bayern Munich. However, there were just 7 goals altogether, not least due to the fact that the forward was suspended for 45 days at one point for refusing to train, with Anelka accusing his Spanish employees of treating him like a dog. Number 4. Walter Samuel from Roma, €25 million in 2004. €25 million. Samuel looked like an excellent signing for a side crying out for a dominant, ruthless centre-half. However, the Argentine never looked anything remotely like the player who had earned the nickname The Wall during his time at Roma, much to the bemusement of former coach Capello. The fact that he did not make name for himself at Real Madrid still surprises me. The Italian later admitted perhaps it was a wrong time. It certainly seemed that way because as soon as Samuel returned to Italy in 2005 to join Inter, he went back to being one of the finest defenders on the planet, becoming a legend at San Siro. Number 5. Jonathan Woodgate from Newcastle, €18.3 million in 2004. The worst debut in history. It's hard to look past Woodgate's first game for Real Madrid, even though it was extremely tough to watch. The centre-half has joined in 2004 but spent a year out injured with a thigh problem that the doctor failed to detect. "I thought, right, you're back. Show them what you can do." He later recalled of his appearance against Atletico Bilbao. He scored an own goal and was sent off. A forgiving Santiago Bernabeu gave him a standing ovation, but nobody complained when Woodgate was sent back to England in 2006 after just 8 further league matches. Number 6. Antonio Cassano from Roma, €5 million in 2006. The fee may have been small, but Cassano was still a colossal waste of money. His return was dismal, just 1 goal in 7 appearances, his attitude dreadful, and his diet worse. Number 7. Rayston Drent from Feyenoord, 40 million euros in 2007. Whether a character like Drent ever had the discipline to succeed at the highest level is an open debate. What we do know is that his hope of making it at Real Madrid effectively ended the moment he was mercilessly buoyed by Bernabeu crowd during a game against Deportivo La Corona. It left him suffering from anxiety. That manager Duane Ramos revealed, as his coach, "I will do all I can to help him because he has a great potential." It was never realized, with the former team star eventually departing for Hercules, where he made further headlines for going on strike. The Dutch winger retired at age 29 to focus on his rap career. Number 8. Julian Faubert from West Ham, on loan 2009. Perhaps not the worst transfer in Madrid history, but certainly the strangest. The entire football world was stunned when they took Faubert on loan from West Ham during the January transfer window. There was an option to buy, but it was never taken up, not least because the Frenchman missed one training session as he mistakenly thought he had the day off, and also appeared to nod off during a game against Villarreal. The right back denied it. "I didn't fall asleep on the bench, I prefer beds." But it adequately summed up the rather dreamlike absurdity of his short spell in the Spanish capital. And now, number 9. Kaka from AC Milan, 65 million euros in 2009. It's easy to understand why Real Madrid broke the transfer world record to sign Kaka. When he joined from AC Milan, he was 27 and at the peak of his power, a Ballon d'Or winner. At the time, there was no better sign in football than the Brazilian trapezista with the ball at his feet. He didn't run, he glided. Fortunately, he was grounded for the majority of his time in Spain. Injuries ruined what should have been a sensational partnership with Ronaldo, while the arrival of Mourinho and Mesut Ozil also hindered his hope of playing regular football. A highlight, not to mention a league title, but as he admitted, "I lost the joy of playing football a bit" in Madrid. Number 10. Pedro Leon from Getafe, 10 million euros in 2010. Felt humiliated at Madrid, Leon admitted in 2011, "I am not aware of doing anything wrong. I did all I could. I was professional, I worked hard." Mourinho disagreed. The Portuguese coach was disgusted by the winger's allegedly poor work ethic and eventually snapped at journalists after repeated questions over his ongoing refusal to give the 10 million signee more game time. You talk of Pedro Leon as if he's Zidane or Maradona or Di Stefano. Last year, he was playing for Getafe. I don't have to justify his absence. Unsurprisingly, Leon was sent back to where he came from after just one controversial riding season at the club. Now, number 11, James Rodriguez from Monaco, 18 million euros in 2014. Just like everyone else in the football world, Real Madrid president Florentino Perez fell in love with the fresh-faced, silky-skilled James Rodriguez during Colombia's run to the quarterfinals of 2014 World Cup. Given the attacking midfielder with a keen eye for spectacular goals had long dreamed of moving to Santiago Bernabeu, a transfer was inevitable, so James became Paris' latest Galactico. However, while Zinedine Zidane's appointment as coach in 2016 proved a crucial turning point in Real Madrid modern history, it effectively spelled out the end of James Blanco's career. He rarely featured under the Frenchman, who at one point claimed that James had asked to be left out of a game against Athletic Club. In the end, after a couple of years on loan at Bayern Munich and a dire final session in which he had made just 8 appearances, the 80 million euro signing left for nothing. The perfect illustration of just how far his stock had fallen since winning the Golden Boot in Brazil. Number 12, Danilo from Porto, 31.5 million euros in 2015. Danilo had openly admitted that it is difficult to deal with the amount of scrutiny players are subjected to by the media in Real Madrid. Error, no matter how small, goes viral, he lamented. A little mistake, very great even if it is small. But of course, when you do something good, it's also very great. Surprisingly, Danilo is still playing at a very top level. Madrid offloaded him to Manchester City in 2017 before he joined Juventus 2 years later, where he is still playing. Number 13. Eden Hazard from Chelsea, 120 million euros in 2019. A transfer 10 years in the making, Eden Hazard's move to Real Madrid appeared doomed from the moment the winger turned up overweight for pre-season training. Fairness to Eden Hazard, he was desperate unfortunately with injuries, having had an almost clean bill of health for the duration of his time at Chelsea. However, even when he has managed to get a run of games together in Spain, he has looked a very cheap imitation of the player who had illuminated the Premier League for 7 years. Hazard has got his hands on some important trophies, including the Champions League, but he played about as much part in Madrid 2021-2022 triumph as Gareth Bale. And it wasn't for the want of trying on the Belgian's part, which probably makes the whole situation even sadder. Now number 14, the last but not the least. Luka Jovic from Frankfurt, 66 million euros in 2019. In 2018-2019, Jovic looked like the next big striking star of Europe. He scored 10 goals in 14 Europa League games for Frankfurt and also impressed in the Bundesliga. This persuaded Madrid to pay an extortionate amount for a player who had been on loan at Frankfurt to Benfica, resulting in a complex double transfer for Jovic as he made a permanent switch to Germany before signing for Madrid the next day. Jovic certainly hasn't proven what's the trouble, with the Serbian now on the verge of joining Fiorentino after just 3 goals in 51 games for Los Blancos. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe to the channel and like the video. I'll catch you in the next for a new update. Stay tuned. Peace.